Welcome to Top Hill Recording Podcast, the podcast where we ask an artist, a band, a musician to come in, give us 4 original tunes. We talk about those tunes. We talk about the journey, where we've come from, where we are, all those things. But tonight we have a very, very, very special guest with us. So, no joke, I was thinking about this today. And by far, the number one person that's come up on this podcast, man, woman, band, child, dog, mammal, bird, the number one person, thing, or anything that's come up on this podcast, along with just like music, is Katie Didit.
Yeah.
She has been probably on every... If it's not every other podcast, it's every third podcast. Somebody mentions the name Katie Didit and how much she has been a part of their journey in their musical journey and really a lot of them say is the reason why I continued to play from the first time I got on stage. So it really is an honor to have Katie in tonight, especially in the form that she is with the band that she has tonight, her new project. We all know about Mama Said String Band. We all know about, we've talked about singer-songwriter nights and all the things which we will get into. But tonight we are very, very honored to have Katie Didit and the Bluegills. Woo!
sun today. She's so much more than what you see. Pretty lipstick and smiles for free. There's a fire burning deep inside. I can feel it trying. Tears that you cry. Sing your song, pretty little bird. Never again will you be unheard. She's so much more than what you see. Pretty lipstick and smiles for free. There's a fire burning deep inside. I can feel it trying. Tears that you cry. Sing your song, pretty little bird. Never again will you be unheard. It's okay to say you loved him anyway. What a man to lay hands on his woman. Couldn't love you, only shove you, not give a damn. Some birds and snakes are great in the long run. In the sun today. She's so much more than what you see. Pretty lipstick and smiles for free. There's a fire burning deep inside. I can feel it trying. Tears that you cry. Sing your song, pretty little bird. Never again will you be unheard.
Good job.
Nobody likes it when sad. So wipe the tears from your eyes. Nobody likes it when you're sad. I just wanna see you smile for a little while, my dear. For a little while, my dear.
special guest.
Thank you guys for having us.
Hey, thank you for
thanks.
coming
Of
in.
course.
Seriously, I hate coming into it just tooting horns and stuff like that. But seriously, Katie, we've talked about you a ton and how important you are to the Louisville music community and everything that is kind of what we're about here. Part of the reason I think that I started the podcast was I don't get a lot of chances to get out. I had, my daughter is over here, thankfully back in town and working with us. But, she's 23 years old. I had kids since I was a baby. So my wife and I were like, we had choices. You really have like, you can either be a dad and have a family or like, give music and get in the scene and stay out late and do those things and go, and I had, have a job. And so it was really kind of like what I needed to do. So part of the podcast for me, sorry to talk so much, but this is all just related to you. And at the end, was because I didn't have the opportunity to be the person, the spark that is what drives the community, which I swear, there's no doubt about it. That's what you are. I hate to make it big and seem like, because there's
That
really
just makes my cheeks red because honestly, I feel lucky to be able to hang out with all these people that I know.
Well, they're lucky to have you. So, you are a friend of the pod. You've been in a couple times with the band, with another project. And tonight was super, super cool. The songs are amazing. You've got an amazing group of musicians
Aren't they so
with
good?
you.
Amazing.
These guys are next
crap.
level. They
Next
are 10
level
out of 10,
musicians.
all four of them.
Great listeners to what you're doing. Really, really find the space to sit and compliment what you're doing and the songs themselves. Shannon, I'm a big fan of Shannon, of course. And of course, Michael over here on keys. I've been a big fan of him as well. That came in with Nick. So we have Jake and Mikey over here. Mikey committing to the sunglasses, which I absolutely
Loving it.
love.
Rocking the shades.
I heard there was an ask, and he's the only one that committed. So Mikey,
Commit to the bit forever.
I tell you what, man, I love it.
Gotta rip the bits.
I love it. Yeah. So you got yourself a great band around you for what you're doing, and the songs are amazing. The space that you guys create for each other is awesome. To individually be able to just pick out parts and hear the things, and you guys holding it down and with the backbeat. It was really, really on a Monday night, really soothing to listen to. Kind of like, holy shit, right?
It was the perfect way to end a Monday night. Just listening to some really great original music, and two, something so cool that all of you all did and executed, in my opinion, perfectly, was going across several different genres that were similar to one another, but are very different in style and in feel, and really does give you a different type of energy feeling.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was so cool just to see you guys do your thing and to kill it.
Tell us how, like, what he's talking about. He mentioned a little bit of jazz and a little bit of like the samba. So tell us how you kind of put those things together to create what you are doing now.
Well, I guess I got a book one time, and it was a guitar learning book, and it was called the Western Swing Book. And then I started learning shell voicings, which Jake Reber knows all about. And I just started learning these chords, and then I started figuring out, I kind of like this even better than the open chord stuff that I've been doing in the past for like the last, 8-10 years. And I was like, this is a brand new world. I love writing like this. So I just took all those chords that I learned and then started writing with them.
That's awesome. I've been trying to kind of figure out as well, because I'm a big Tony Rice fan, and watching Tony Rice play, he went and studied jazz. And one of the key things that he does that is fascinating is his different chord voicings and how much that really does open the music scape to allow all your different counterparts to actually come in and to create the painting.
And to make it sound so much more interesting.
Absolutely.
And the movement of all of it. But I don't know much about jazz. I really don't. Like, I know these chords, and like I'll go to practice and Jake Reber will tell me the chords that I'm doing, and like Schrader will tell me like, oh, this will work with this seventh. And then Shannon and Mikey, they're the ones that know everything. They're great.
That's interesting. So it really did boil down from a book of checking out these new.
Yeah, it did.
That's awesome. I think a lot of people that hear the word jazz, especially as a musician, especially as a new musician, or somebody that maybe is kind of in a lane, and they hear jazz, they get super intimidated by that. So the fact that
and it's really not, or at least it wasn't for my journey anyway. I mean, I thought that same way, and there is different levels of jazz and like swing jazz, and then very complicated. But what I've been doing is basically been learned from a Western swing book.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's very neat to hear you kind of like pull it down a little bit. Yeah. So what's your
4-letter word?
What's your take on it?
It was only
Oh,
12.
me?
It was
Yeah,
only 12
man.
notes, you know.
I think most people feel obligated to like jazz, and so then there's a bit of resentment towards it, but they don't realize that they've grown up with it forever. Sort of like with classical music too, because it's like Christmas songs and Bugs Bunny and like
Bugs Bunny.
it's a lot of like tone painting and stuff like that. That's like in stuff that people love, and they just. It's like the DNA of a lot of like even Adult Swim humor is like really based in jazz. The house band for Space Ghost Coast to Coast was Sonny Chirac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really
awesome.
like most people when they just like to repeat the same jokes of like, if peeing in your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis, or what's the other joke from The Office of just play the right notes. And those are good jokes, but they just like get repeated ad nauseum, and rather than like, somebody just listening and making an original thought about it, which is more,
And like understanding it's the bass just as like drummer and, fellow rhythm section person. I've been playing drums my whole life. I've played in a lot of different varieties of music, and like from heavy to like really slow, it's all, you could distill it all down to like what I learned growing up listening to jazz.
Yeah.
Because it's all about timing, and it's all about just feeling. And I think that's sometimes a lot of people don't connect quite as well, because you can't really label a feeling. You're just like, just feel it out.
Yeah.
And, we could do that. And, you play with enough people. And I think it's like also like the kinship of having those groups of people that are like 3 or 4 people that play together like every Friday for 10 years. And you're like, you could go off on a tangent and I'll figure out where to get in. And it doesn't matter.
Well, and the other if you, what I've always, because I've taught a little bit on the side here and there and things like that, and what I've always told people is just play what you like. Like, enjoy the music you're playing, and then get bored, because you will, and then just keep doing that. Do that for 10 years. Eventually you'll get tired of doing the same way that you've played To Call Myself Out, that Elton John tune. Like, eventually you'll start to try to find another way around it, and you'll find a weird cover of it somebody did, and then suddenly you're listening to Miles Davis and you don't know how to get back from where you are.
Yep.
So it's not, there's all this, there's wonderful, and I love the intellectual side of it, the vocabulary, the conversation you can have about music in a very kind of verbal way, but sometimes you just learn to listen first, and you learn to love what you're hearing, and then eventually you get motivated to find those sounds. It doesn't need to be an obligation. Like you said, classical music tends to be that way too. You hear Fur Elise and the Moonlight Sonata, and you feel like, well, that's what you got to do to play piano. That's not what I did.
But no genre is cut off from anybody. It really, truly isn't. Like, I'm from Southeast Kentucky, and like I play in another band, which is bluegrass, and none of that stuff is cut off from anybody. Whether you grew up in an orchestra playing violin first chair, and then now all of a sudden you're getting put into a position to jam and like improvise, that's also for you. And it's just like the same way with like jazz. It's like, if I want to do it, I'm allowed to do it. People want to play bluegrass, they should be allowed to do it. Nothing's cut off from anybody.
Absolutely.
Well, and with when you were learning those chords and you had that country western songbook, was there an intent of like, I'm going to write these jazzy, swingy. Yeah, I mean, so
No, it
wasn't-
just gave me the key. It gave me the key to unlock something, a part of my writing that I never
Mhm.
had experienced before. And I was like, oh, wow, look at all these tools I have now. Look at all, and this fits my voice way better than all the things that I've been doing prior. Like, this is just fun for me. This is good.
It kind of goes back to both what you know, Michael and Jake both have talked about, you know, just kind of number one, realizing it's bigger than this one little thing that you think jazz is. And there is no, once you get to an extent, like you were talking about, get to the thing that you get to a point where you go, okay, I want to do something else. It just expands that vocabulary. It doesn't mean that, people look at, they just really feel like jazz is this 4-letter word, and it really isn't. And it kind of the way that you brought it in to.
We call ourselves either flea market jazz or yard sale swing.
Love it.
We're the knockoff.
Love it.
Well, I mean, really, there's really no such, you guys are such an entry level. Miles Davis has been mentioned twice in this already, and we're, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes into this thing. And it's because he is a gateway drug to jazz. He is an easy way to understand.
Same thing with Django.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which
I was getting ready to actually bring that up.
You mentioned Django before.
Yeah, Django is, whenever I found Django, it was whenever I just started kind of looking into jazz and trying to figure out, like, because I did have that thought of like, okay, well, I was in high school and I went to YPass, and so I saw these kids in the jazz band just killing it. And I'm like, how are they doing that? And then
What is that?
exactly what exactly are they doing? Because I want to be a part of it. And then playing guitar and being in classical guitar, my teacher, Michael Kagan, he said, you know what you need to look at then? You need to look at Django Reinhardt. And I was like, okay, why is that? And he was like, because he combines so many different aspects of so many different types of music, and he throws it all together. And then, he made gypsy jazz. He's kind of the godfather of gypsy jazz, from my understanding at least. And so, yeah, just listening to the different melodies and seeing how they can be, okay, I hear this part of this classical song, and then I hear this part of this jazz tune. And then the way that you guys execute that and take all of your all's different influences, and to hear how you all make that song and how you all play for that song using that different vocabulary is very, very cool.
Yeah, for sure. What I love is with everything that's going on, honestly, the music is not the focus.
Yeah.
It's what Katie's doing vocally. It's what the song is about, what she's singing. And everything is so warm and welcoming as a listener that it draws you in. I don't think most people that are going to listen to this are going to say, oh, that's a jazz tune. They're just going to say, that's a really good song, because of what you guys perform, the performance itself, and being able to have the cool harmonizing vocals, to be able to sit in the pocket, to be able to throw those. Shannon, who has an amazing band and has amazing songs himself, back on the freaking sax, just
Getting nasty
throwing
with it.
sickness on top of everything. So it's
He does pretty good.
he's all right.
He's all right.
Nah, man, it was. It like made my heart flutter a little bit once that sax started going. So I was loving that shit.
It'll do
So
something to you.
It'll do something.
Mhm.
It will.
Can vouch.
That's. I need a shirt that'll say sax. It'll do something to you. Shannon.
Well, and I can tell you to brag on Shannon for just a second. I've played with a number of different horn players of various stripes and different, kinds of vibes and different genres. And Shannon's one of very, very few that really thinks about the whole, like, he's really good about the big picture. He thinks about where he fits, where he needs to make sound, where he doesn't, and the way that all of us really need to. And it's been a there's always a concern when a horn comes out. You're just like, I don't know what this is going to be. Is this about to blow one of my
There's
eardrums?
always a
Always. Let me answer
Always.
this
This
question.
guy
Let me.
prejudiced
Let me
against
As
answer
a
that.
horn player,
Hey,
yes, there is
yes.
always a concern.
Yes.
We're all just here to support Katie, pretty basically. That's like the goal is kind of put that
Prop up
package
the song,
together.
man.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
For sure.
Add to the song and give like the
For sure.
Well-
And to give my horn player friends some credit, it's very hard to be a single note instrument and sit in with a bunch of
I can play
chord players.
multiphonics, just not in this.
Okay, single note,
Just
primarily
not in this
instrument.
Yeah, man.
It adds a layer of challenge that I think Shannon tackles in a
Well,
really real and
yeah.
interesting
Thank
way.
you, Schrader.
Why do you think I don't play notes?
I love you.
That's because we don't let you, Mikey.
That's fair.
Come on, man. How can
You got
can
tuned the drums
disrespect?
too, right?
Yeah.
Any one of
Yeah.
these guys could do something just so crazy and outstanding and next level
Mhm.
on their own and all these different projects that all of them play in. But it is really nice whenever they play with me that they find space to
Mhm.
give it what it needs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
100%.
And I know that requires a lot of restraint on
Well,
all of their
we all
parts
had
because
big
they're all
ears
so
tonight.
amazing.
We all had big ears tonight with like the one mic,
Mhm.
right? One take. We're like,
And it made us play a little bit. Yeah.
Everything. It sounded like everything had intent tonight, man.
Yes.
I don't know if that's, but it really sounded so spaced and well thought out, and just everything fit the song. There was nothing that was fighting each other. And ever at one point, for the first time ever, I asked somebody to turn up. Katie, I was like, "Hey, turn up your guitar a little bit." I've never asked people to turn up, so it's
People
just
make a joke about me all the time, though, that I'm the person that never turns up my amp or anything.
We turn Katie up when she's not looking. As
Yeah.
a general rule.
Yeah, instead of like me turning myself up while the sound guy's not looking, my bandmates will turn me up while I'm not looking.
Well, and something else that I noticed while you guys were playing is your all's attention to each other. Like while you all are playing, everyone is looking at each other
Mhm.
and everyone is kind of reading off of each other's body language of, okay, all right, we're getting ready to go into this section, and we've all been on stages or been in small rooms to where you can't really hear each other all that well because of the different dynamics that you have to be at in order for the sound to sound really good. And the way that you all maneuvered that tonight was absolutely killer. And then too, the way that you all play on each other's dynamics just by hearing each other is fantastic.
What was that gig at Tiger where you couldn't hear anything, Mikey?
Yeah.
And so I just started slapping and I conducted with my hand, just like
Yeah.
exaggerated my slap.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say,
Oh yeah, we got a video of it. Yeah.
That's kind of that's the
I could tell he couldn't hear shit.
only bad
Can I
part
swear on
about being
Yeah,
a
yeah.
drummer. I love every other part about it, but it's you usually get stuck behind the monitors, or
Oh, yeah.
if there is a monitor, they
It's shit.
rightfully so, you give it to a person who's singing a note and needs to hear themselves. But often I've literally learned. I mean, I grew up playing in punk and hardcore bands.
Mhm.
I played in people's basements without anything. Played to 100 people in a 50-person room type thing where all the sound just dies immediately. So I just learned, like watching people's body language, and luckily, Katie is very like dances sort of.
Yeah.
And it's really nice
I
because it's
do,
almost like
yeah.
a human metronome. So I'm just like, I don't need to hear anything. I can just pay attention.
Watch
and
me.
then Jake's, normally today we did, electric, but normally Jake's got the upright. So I
Yep.
just follow Jake's top hand, look
see
at
that
Michael's
hole.
left hand, and Shannon and I are usually like kind of perpendicular. So I can just kind of like always see him in the peripheral. And I'm like, all right, I got my,
Hell yeah.
I know what
These are my
everyone's
notes.
doing.
Well, I mean, to give credit also to Katie, because this room has you're singing at a mic in front of a band. You can't hear yourself.
Nope.
You're singing blindly.
No,
So,
I did.
yeah.
I definitely sang
Yeah, no.
behindly.
You
Yeah.
and you're one of the more quiet singers that we have. So for you to have a full band behind you and for everything to sound as good as it, because I was listening in the can, so I had an idea of what everything sounded like, where it was sitting. So to be able to do that and know your own voice, I heard you say you were singing off vibrations.
Yeah, I told Shannon that after we started listening back, and I was like, I couldn't hear my vocals at all. I was only going off of like the vibration tone in my throat and chest of what was happening. And I was
That's a
like,
bass thing.
it is.
Yeah,
I think it is a bass
I've
thing.
always done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you totally nailed, which I don't know how you wouldn't know at this point, but if you don't, Katie is a bass player for Mama Said String Band, which, so yeah, it makes sense that you would understand that dynamic in your vocals and in your chest when you're singing, because you really, unless when you have a band in here, unless you're one of those really loud singers, which I'm a loud singer, and we've had a few, you can hear it over what's going on. Otherwise, you're kind of just on your own. There's no monitor, there's no in-ear, there's none of that stuff that, like if we were a cool studio that was fancy as shit, we don't have that. This is a home studio in my house. So, like big nod that you could hear inside internally what you're doing, kind of to even still leading the band with your movement and everything that was going on in a space that you're not sure. I mean, you have, I guess you are, because you absolutely nailed it. So if you didn't know, you were sure, be sure. But what you're doing was just perfect. So cool that you can do something like that in that setting.
I got lucky tonight because I was singing lead, but the only time that doesn't really work is if you're singing maybe head harmonies and you're going to a higher range, and then you don't get that vibration down here anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But everything that we did tonight, I was like, I think I can feel it. I think I can.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nailed it. All you guys nailed it.
Absolutely.
That's what you get when you have a band full of rhythm players.
Yeah.
We're all
band full of
rhythm musicians.
badasses. That's what I call
Band
y'all.
full of
My gosh,
badasses.
man.
I call them bluegills, but they're really badasses.
They are.
That's what they are. It should be Katie D and the badasses.
Katie D and the badass. Is it Katie D or Katie Didit? Did I say it wrong at the beginning?
No, I mean, you can. We're so new. We've only had 3 shows? 4? Ever? 4 now. This is our 4th show
This counts,
we've ever
baby.
done.
This
It's so
counts,
new. I
man.
mean, we just started practicing in
great.
In the summer.
And then we had a few rehearsals and then did 3 gigs back to back to back at the Whirling Tiger. And then I don't know. I just loved playing with all them. I did a bunch of solo stuff with Michael prior to this. And then Shannon's been in bands with me way earlier than this. And then I was just like, well, I know Jake Reber and I know he's the best upright bass player in town. I was like, if he'll give me the time, I want to ask him to do it. And then Mikey was at one of mine and Schrader's duo shows. And he was like, if you need a drummer, I'm into that stuff. I'll try it out. And we're like, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's all meet up. And then we did. And I don't know. I'm very happy with all of them. I wouldn't replace any of them with anybody else.
I'm glad you answered the question before I was going to ask, because I was going to ask, how do you feel about the direction? But I guess there's no need. You're kind of in the lane you want to be in, and with the players that you want to be in that lane with, it seems
I couldn't
like.
ask for any better players. And I'll
Awesome.
forward them. Yeah.
All right. Anna's waking up. All right. Podcast talk. Oh, she's back asleep. All
Yeah,
right.
she's out again.
All right. So, all right. I really did kind of start this thing by pumping you up big time. And before we go too far, I know we got Weston's questions coming up here in a minute, which will kind of lighten the load a little bit. But, you have open mics everywhere. You have the Monarch open mic series, which is an amazing series. All that is such a. It really is awesome that you do that, but more so, what you do with what you have. I really do want to say, legit, you have been brought up so much. Earl, who's usually here, and he's pissed that he can't be here tonight because he's sick. He's like, dude,
He's actually playing my Spotlight series again for the second
Is he?
time this coming month. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
Perfect. He has a bunch of songs coming out, and his record is amazing. But he couldn't be here tonight, and he was so pissed that
He's
he couldn't
so
be here.
good. Yeah.
Well, the reason he plays is because once he went to the Spotlight, once he went to an open mic, he got encouragement from you. And I can name amazing artists, the Taylor Catherines, the Earls, so many people that have said, if it wasn't for Katie, I wouldn't be playing. I would not have kept playing. They go to one of those things and they play, and if they would have come off the stage and wouldn't have heard anything and went home, maybe that would have been the end of it. I'm not there. So but from everything that I understand, it is the fact that you encourage them to keep doing what they're doing.
If you've never played a Katie Didit open mic, the intro is what you really go for. You don't go to play your songs, you go so that she can introduce you. And that just for a second, you can feel good about yourself,
Yeah.
It's like the best 30 seconds
Absolutely.
of the week when she says whatever she says to introduce you.
But that must be, it seriously must ring true, because it is like, it's almost a rite of passage to come in this place that you've had to have gone through Katie Didit.
True.
In one way or the other. Jalen, my baby girl over there, has been here probably, how many podcasts? Maybe
I was going to
6?
say like 6 or 7, and I want to say 3 of those you've been brought up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
And
kind of
they
crazy
all,
to me.
Like, stress that you're a big part of their journey and why they're still playing,
Yeah.
which is really
We talked about her when I played.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
I did too. I really don't remember why.
But dude, that is so
The
not,
anchor of the music scene.
That's more common than uncommon. It really is. And I do want you to understand, like,
It makes my cheeks red, and I feel like I don't
Probably
deserve
because
it.
of the
but
mustache. I was talking about why I was wearing a mustache.
I'm very happy about it, though, because
Well,
I care about my community so much. Like, when I die, I would rather people be like, instead of being like, oh, she was this, she was so talented, I would rather than be like, she was the reason that I did what I did and I got to do what I got to do.
You have a lot of that, man. The impact that you've had on this little music scene is absolutely, it shows. It really does. So whatever you're doing, please keep doing it, because people gravitate towards you, and what you say matters to them. They continue, and we are lucky because of that. Like, if Earl didn't continue to play, we wouldn't have the second record. And the first record was great. The second record is awesome. Taylor Catherine. When I think of talent that is yet to be reached, but it is just shining, I think of like Taylor Catherine, and the first person that she'll mention is you, and it just continues seriously through so many people that we've talked to. I think, I think we've had,
Well, and it's over into thank you. And thank all of you all, because all of you all, by the way, not just Katie, but everyone gets brought up, And
I take lessons from Jake on bass whenever I have time, or if I've
taken bass and guitar lessons from Jake too. For that,
and then
matter.
I've also taken singing lessons from Michael.
Yeah.
I took
and
Michael's
Mike.
job.
You did take
So just so we're clear here about
I've
where
done
I
none of
go
it.
for
Everyone.
my
I'm innocent in all
inspiration,
this.
it's in this room.
Well, and that's the cool part. And that's why I have to say thank you, is because to young guys and gals like me who are 23, just kind of getting into it, we look up to you all. And it's so cool that you all are so open and caring and actually
encouraging.
Yeah, and encouraging. And you want to see everyone succeed, and you want to see the community grow bigger
and
and
not being
bigger.
judgmental or pretentious.
Exactly.
Or like,
I ran
Click
comedy
it.
open
Gatekeeping.
mics for like over a decade.
Shut
'Cause
the
I was focused on comedy for like the past decade without as much music. Like I was still practicing and stuff.
That's amazing.
I just kind of lost my values for it. Like it's got less important as we had like a shitty stand-up comedian for a president and stuff, and like nobody could practice it for 2 years. So I kind of fell out of love with it. But like, man, running a comedy open mic is rough, and like you see people that are really rough. So, and you just try to be nice and encouraging and stuff. But going to Katie's open mics is always just like, oh damn, there's so many good people in this.
Everybody's good.
It's like,
This is
I'll hang out and
crazy.
watch the
Like,
entire
this
show.
is insane.
Yeah.
Like, how many good people show up? It's like,
Oh
I don't-
yeah, it's like I'm the worst guitar player at this open mic.
Yeah.
An open mic. Yeah, I've
Big
been hanging out with
same,
some people that are
Shannon.
like, I don't go to open mics. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. You probably should. Like,
Definitely.
they're pretty. Or just like comedians are the worst. Sorry to interrupt you, Mike.
Oh, you're good.
Comedians are the worst about not staying in the room during a show, which is like, with a comedy open mic, I can kind of see it because it's sort of like just therapy for white dudes a lot of time. It's like you can only
Checks out.
Yeah.
but so
Totally.
it's like it's a chore to sit
Vibe.
through it all, but it's like, man, that's an art form where you can only practice it maybe once a day. Or
Mhm.
like maybe 2 if you really hustle. Like, why wouldn't you want maximum returns on
Yeah.
practicing?
Who's
But
your
like-
favorite comedian?
Oh, I don't care.
All right, sweet.
That's my favorite answer.
Tom Waits, I guess. You know.
Hell yeah.
Tom
That's the
Waits.
right
David-
answer.
David Cross
That's
for me.
wonderful.
I liked Bobcat
David.
Goldthwait a whole lot.
All right, sweet.
David
Same.
Cross is hilarious.
Yeah,
He's
they're all
awesome.
great dudes. But you just going to one of her shows, it's like I could sit here through the whole show. I can
Oh,
sit through
yeah.
this whole,
Easily.
this whole damn thing.
Well, I mean, that's how we met. I mean, that's how I met everybody. But my partner, whose name is also Katie,
there's a lot of Katie's.
yeah,
Okay.
one absolutely wonderful
out to parents in
musician
the
too,
80s.
who plays at Katie's open mics,
Hell yeah.
and that's how I met all these guys. And that's how we became in the band, was just because my partner was bringing me around, and I didn't realize, like, I was like, oh, open mics. I've been to open mics before. And I've been into them in a lot of different cities, and I'm like, man, I don't know. And then we started coming to this one, and I was like, oh, this fucking rules.
Yeah, I used to,
This is
I used
like,
to-
actually, I'm looking forward to next week.
I used to run the
it's-
open mic at Lisa's Oak Street Lounge, which is Kaiju.
Mhm.
Okay.
Before it was Kaiju, it was Lisa's Oak Street Lounge. Before I was like 21, we just get paid in booze. It was terrible. Worst gig ever. I hated open mics. I just started coming to them a couple years ago.
Yeah,
It's been
I think
Worth it. Katie's
Katie's
way
created a culture, man.
They're
Like-
way different than the ones that I
Culture of
remember.
kindness.
A culture of
Yeah.
kindness,
And we
pretty good
rarely
song.
hear "Don't Think Twice, It's All Right" or "Wagon Wheel"
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Yeah.
or Oasis.
It's mostly original.
we very rarely
stuff.
hear.
Oh, really?
Or like
It's
way more intricate,
when we do
like
hear them because
yeah.
it's like
off the wall stuff that no one's ever even heard if it is a cover,
Yeah.
And
I've done a few of those.
and it's cool because you get to see everybody like working with each other and then like creating bands
That's
out
the
of
lo-
meeting at open mic.
And local coverage, the way it happened this year, couldn't have happened without the open mic scene either.
Oh yeah, that
like
was
the way
totally.
that it came this
I was
year.
inspired by Nick Teal and Katie, and then also Tyler and Scott Whitehouse.
So yeah, Jake is throwing a show that has been annually, but is now going to be more seasonally, hopefully.
Oh, that was
called-
just the first
Sweet.
one. That was it.
I thought it was
That was the first
too.
one?
Yeah, I was
Oh.
gonna. I was gonna
Okay.
do it annually. I did a show. Was that last night?
It was last
last
night.
night.
Yeah.
yes.
Sorry, it's been a long day.
was that last night?
It was just local people covering other local people's songs. So I had like
Oh,
Nick Teal on
dude,
there
that's
and Katie
killer.
did a tune.
That's
it was really-
killer.
It's like, yeah,
Where was
everything
that
you're
at?
talking about. It was at Whirling Tiger again.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It was so great.
Yeah, it was
I've
fun.
never seen a more diverse lineup in my entire life.
There were
Dude,
like
that's
5
killer.
of my friends that I went to music school with there.
Yeah.
That's
It
awesome.
was weird.
That's
Yeah.
a
Class
great.
of-
That's a great concept, man.
It was so cool.
2007.
And it was all
Yeah.
Jake's idea.
All right,
He was
so
the one.
all right. Oh my God, how cool would that be? How many people did that?
I think we had 10 people signed up, and then scarcely more in the crowd.
All right, so we. How cool would that be to do like a little
Recording
series,
session.
a series where we have people cover?
Oh,
other
Oh, I'd show up for that in a
people's
That's
heartbeat.
very
So
smart.
you give me a call when you're ready to do that.
stuff. Like, how cool
Very
would that
smart.
be?
Yeah.
Might have to be greenhouse sessions.
Oh,
Greenhouse
that would
covers.
be cool.
yeah.
All right, we'll show you the greenhouse after this.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Yeah. All right.
What grows there?
Nothing yet.
Friendships.
Yes.
Love, friendship,
Friendships.
music
Friendship.
bonds.
Deeper connections.
Love.
Hopefully in 2025, medical cannabis, but not until then.
Let's find out.
We'll see. We'll find out. Right. All right. Jalen,
Yes, sir.
guess what? Yes, sir. I'm your dad. Don't call me that. It's weird. She never called me sir in her
Forgive me,
life.
Father.
Forgive me,
Right.
Father, for I've
I've
called
seen.
you sir. All right. Weston's questions. You want to do a little Weston's questions time?
Yes, sir.
What do we got?
Alrighty, the first one we have is if your music had a signature scent, what would it smell like and why?
Oh my god.
Yeah, these are intense questions.
That sounds like a good.
It can't be fish, Jake. It can't be fish.
Balsa wood. I don't.
Yeah.
I would
Fish is a crazy
say
answer.
that it would be Chanel with a little bit of room smoke in an old jazz bar.
Hell yeah.
Chanel and tobacco.
I love it.
Like it.
love it. I love it.
What number, Chanel?
That may have been the
Always 9.
Obviously.
that may have been our
Always
best answer
9.
in the history of this
And it was
podcast.
fast,
Take 9.
too. It was, she didn't even really have to think
She
about it.
thought about it and then nailed it.
Yeah.
She
Well,
smelled
I mean-
her shirt.
It's a dress.
She smelled her dress.
Long dress is just
It's a long shirt.
It is just.
All right, here's a good one. If each of you were a character from a famous movie, which would it be and why?
Oh,
Start from right to left.
Janet.
Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, beautiful.
Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck.
Matilda.
Oh, okay.
Oh God, I didn't go that fast. I gotta go with Taron Egerton from Rocket Man, but he was real, so that doesn't really work.
Okay, that counts.
It works.
It totally works.
I'm just gonna throw up Max from the Goofy movie.
Hell
Hey,
yeah.
well done,
Hell
sir.
yeah.
Well played.
Little Max, yeah. He was so cool.
Excellent movie, by the way, dude.
Excellent
Way underrated.
movie.
Excellent.
Then the
Oh, yeah.
Extreme
Short,
Goofy movie
though. It's
where
almost
he's like
too short.
skateboarding.
Yeah, and the
Agreed.
Goofy movie is
When you
by
said
far
Rocket
one
Man,
of
I
my
thought
favorites.
It was
favorites.
Rocketeer, and I was like,
Good.
that's-
Well, and
then
then
you're
he
like, that's a
comes
real
out
person.
to-
I
was like,
rewatched
no,
it last
yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Rocketeer's a real
I watched it
story.
last year.
Huh?
Well, then
Still stand up?
It's too short. That's the only
it is.
problem.
Well, but
What
then
is
you
it
have
like?
Extreme
It's
Goofy
good.
movie when he goes to college.
Oh,
and then he
yeah.
does,
What?
like, extreme
I
sports.
didn't even know that was a
Yes.
movie.
Yeah,
It's
The
okay.
X
Watch it.
Games.
It's an okay
Worth it.
It's not
I
as
believe
good.
I had that on
It'll
VHS.
never be as good as the
Is
original.
that the
won't
one
be
where they
so.
go like in the big camper
No,
and all that
that's
stuff? Or is that the
numero
first
That's the
one?
original.
uno, baby.
It's the original.
Yeah, unbeatable. That's why you remember it, bro. All right, what do you got?
All right, last one. And it's exposure time. What's the weirdest or most surprising thing that you've learned about each other while being in this band for this short period of time?
Ooh.
Or most surprising? Something you wouldn't have expected.
I like.
I mean, Mikey's in a shoegaze band. I didn't see that coming.
That's fair.
I didn't realize I had Michael's old piano students until a couple weeks
Oh
ago.
yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I quit and he sort of took over, and we were in a band together for at least a couple of months before we all figured it out.
I think that whenever I had already been playing with you for like a year, and then I was like, what do you do for work? And then you
Yeah.
told me, and I still don't know what you do during the day.
Well, at the
You were
moment,
like,
nothing.
I yell at people sometimes on the phone, and I was like, all right.
Well,
and then
I
I
knew that
remember leaving
worked.
the show afterwards. I was like, Shannon, he told us what he did. What does he do? What is it?
Sales, exports, imports.
It was purchasing
management.
for a
I
while.
think it's-
So
Account
it was,
management, purchasing.
contracting. It was the opposite of sales. I would go
Arms.
and,
He's an
and
arms dealer. As I
get,
believe you're
free
an
Yeah.
drinks
arms
from
dealer.
the sales folks and drive
Blink-
all the way
blink
up
with
the
both
state
eyes.
of Oregon and hang out in Honolulu and do karaoke in a gay bar. That's what I did for a living.
I love that.
That sounds like
That-
the life.
yeah,
I was
actually
waiting
does
for
sound
the
like
truth.
that.
I was
That
waiting.
sounds like-
Better
Hey,
sound
you
like
lost
better.
that job.
Right. That sounds like
Catch
the
up.
life.
I think me and Katie just the other day realized that we like unknowingly go back like 20 years.
I know
That's the
so
kind of
many of the
stuff.
same
know,
people
yeah,
in the
yeah.
hardcore scene.
Yeah, from Whitesburg because I used
Invisible
to play
Strings.
shows in the town that she's from
Yeah.
with a bunch of people that we were just like naming people. And we were
Off
like,
and
yeah, I know
off
them.
me,
I
like,
know
oh my
them.
gosh, I know
them.
them. I know them. You're like,
I was
what?
like-
This is crazy that we never met.
Shannon and I still got you beat though. We've known each other since 2002.
2002 Foster Music Camp,
Oh.
Eastern
Yeah, man.
Kentucky University.
Look at
Dude.
you.
Band
Year after
camp,
I was
baby,
born.
band camp.
Look at these bubbies.
Dude.
That's the most surprising. And yeah, and we saw like a lineup, a poster, a festival lineup. I thought that I'd met Katie in 2017 at the Eclipse Festival, but we saw a lineup with her band earlier than that we were both on the same festival. I had lineup for like 2016.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, I don't know. I guess we've just been.
Invisible strings everywhere.
We've all just
Hanging
been
out.
meaning to hang
Weird.
out
Super
for a
weird.
long time,
Yeah,
and
no
now we're
doubt.
finally all hanging out together.
It's just the right
I
time. It
met
must be the
Jake
right
on a
time.
movie set.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, we met
That was
literally
why I was playing
on
cello.
a movie
wait,
set.
Were you playing cello or was I playing cello?
I brought my bass.
Oh yeah, and I was playing cello.
Yeah, and
Well,
it was
playing, we were
like
pretending to play.
What was the
playing.
movie?
Oh, what was it? It was one of those Lifetime movies. They were filming a bunch of the Lifetime movies for a while here.
Yeah, they
Okay.
casted out some string players and somebody tagged me and Jake. And so we like showed up at the thing together. And then
I've
he
probably
was
seen
like,
it.
oh, okay, I'm in town. I play music. And I'm like, me too. Who do you know? And we were like, Emily Miller. Oh, Emily Miller. That's
Yeah.
like one of both of our best friends.
Sad Black
and like,
Lab.
Hey, we,
This-
Yeah.
Emily
No,
Miller.
nurses
works
does it too
out.
as well.
And then
Right
it's
on.
like, okay,
No.
well, you must be cool if Emily loves you. And I feel like we both kind of felt that way. And then like we hung out for hours
Yeah.
in silence, watching bad acting
Yeah,
and eating good food.
movies are a drag.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't.
a
lot
I
of
don't find
sitting
a lot
and
of pleasure
hanging.
Mhm.
working on them. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
man.
I had a
Uh,
slightly different introduction to Jake. I showed up at an open mic at High Horse, was it? I don't remember.
Probably. Yeah. I like them, yeah.
Forever and ever ago. Not quite as forever ago as 2002, but forever ago. And he brought his stand-up bass, and he was doing covers, and he asked if anyone in the audience had a cover, and I had it was $2 PBR night, excuse me, so I'd had a few. I requested Master of Puppets, and Jake played it.
Oh,
That's
Nice.
I like to do sonically impractical things.
That's true.
And it was
Master of Puppets
I
on
need that
solo
on a t-shirt.
upright bass.
I-
That's
So,
insane.
well, I didn't think he'd do it.
Yeah.
I'm taking requests. Anybody? That's nuts.
Stand up bass, stand up comedy, stand up guy.
Stand up.
There you
guy.
go.
Stand-up guy.
Stand-up.
Yeah, it was a
Stand-up guy.
15-minute comedy
Well
routine with a
done.
stand-up bass. It was great.
Hell yeah.
Good questions.
Hey, and well done. Well done, Weston.
That's from Brad.
All right,
Yeah.
Brad. Appreciate
Thank you,
you.
Brad.
Sir Weston.
All right, you guys. So I guess we're like an hour and a half into this. We got to wrap it up
Wrap
because
it up.
Let's wrap it
we
up.
Or whatever Dave
Be
Chappelle
safe.
says.
Be
Greenhouse
safe.
Yeah.
Greenhouse sessions coming up
This is Dave
next.
Cooley.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. So for any of our listeners, people that want to follow you and all that stuff, listen to you, where can they find you? We can go all the way around because I know that everybody's got so much stuff going on. Katie, we'll end with you.
Okay, real quick. November 22nd is this Friday. Me and Katie are doing a little duo set, and she's going to do a solo set too at the Last Refuge downtown. And then that's this Friday, November 22nd. And the next month at the Grain House, which is the Enchanted Forest in New Albany, the Bluegills are playing on December 19th, a little Christmas set. So that's the next Bluegills set.
Hey, hold on. December 19th. Let's everybody.
It's in the calendar.
Let's go.
It's a month from now.
You good? We're going to have a little
Greenhouse.
Christmas
Take
party.
off.
My band's going to play
There you
too.
Uh,
I'm
Oh,
excited.
And
What
Taylor
are we
Catherine.
doing
And
here?
Taylor Catherine's going to play
And
too.
Taylor
Taylor
Catherine.
Catherine.
So let's
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
let's just.
And-
do you guys want to
and-
sponsor the event, Top Hill, or
How do we sponsor an event?
should
have
we
no
sponsor
money.
you guys?
Yes, that's what I'm talking
We'll
about.
sponsor Top.
You all take
That's a better idea.
that's way more like it. All right, sweet.
Hell yeah.
December 19th. That's exciting. All right, Jake. What you
I
got, bro?
play this Tuesday. I don't know when this comes out, but I play this Tuesday at Epiphany. But usually I play the second Tuesday of every month there with my
Mhm.
group. Is the Jake Reber Threeber. And
That's a great band.
oh, thanks. I didn't come up with it. Zach Groves did.
Well done,
I
Zach.
play a lot. Next month I'll be playing the Vince Guaraldi Peanuts jazz album a whole lot. So the one at the Merriweather's on the 15th, and I'll be doing one for the Living Room series on the 21st. Same day as my sister's wedding. Come to that.
Hey,
she'll
we'll
love
be
that.
there. What's the
Oh,
cover?
absolutely.
Yeah. My next gig's my sister's wedding. Come to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
What,
Cool.
dude, I ain't working. Let's
$5 bucks
go.
to
It's
get
at
in.
some church. I
Are
don't
you,
know. I've never
you
been
at
to.
Gravely again, Schrader?
Well, yeah, I was going to skip this one because it's on the 22nd. But I'm at Gravely on the 22nd with Maxwell Whitaker.
Torn.
And yeah, and I'm sad to be missing their duo set. Actually, that's going to be killer. So pick one. You'll have a good time either
Well, you
way.
would just be playing it, probably,
I would absolutely love to do that
if you showed up.
But yeah. So I play around town a fair amount. I do a lot of cover stuff, and I'll swirl my originals here in now and again. If you find me on Facebook,
Your originals are so good.
They're very good.
But I find myself, I am getting close now that I am. I have a lot of free time all of a sudden, so I've been getting closer and closer and closer to actually releasing some of my own stuff. So
Let's
we're
go.
getting
Yeah.
we're getting
Oh,
there.
man.
Find me on Facebook. That will not be under my name, but you'll have to find me on Facebook to figure out what name it's going to be under.
It's going to be under the Schrader.
But I'm playing Gravely on the 22nd. I'm playing Gravely a fair few times actually over the next month or so. So if you're looking for some classic rock, blues, jazz, really whatever you need. I did an Ed Sheeran song the other day. Like whatever you want. I'll be around.
All right, right on, brother.
I play in a band called Sympathy Jar. It is like a shoegaze indie kind of Dinosaur Jr. meets like I don't know if like Ringo Death Star, if you've ever heard that band. It's one of my favorite bands.
Basically, it's pretty cool.
It's really cool. It's really weird. It's great. I love it. We play a lot in Lexington, Louisville, Cincinnati. It's find us on Instagram or on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, whatever. And then most importantly, I play in this band called Katie Didit and the Bluegills. And it's been phenomenal, so you should check us out. I don't think we have a specific Instagram yet, but...
All right, Miss Katie Didit. Tell us everything you got going on, and especially surrounding this project right here, Katie Didit, or Katie D. Katie Didit and the Bluegills.
Well, we decided to come on here because we'd only had 3 shows prior and probably 3 rehearsals. And we were like, we need some evidence that this existed in time, that it really did happen with all 5 of us. So that's why we came on here. And thank you all so much for having us. You all have been so great. The questions,
it's been awesome.
kindness, the setup, the production. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Truly. It means a lot. On the 19th, December, playing at the Grain House / the Enchanted Forest, which is in New Albany. That'll be Katie D and the Bluegills, and that'll be with Shannon's band and also Taylor Catherine. And then after that, I guess the only thing that I even want to mention is just Mama Said's playing with Hot Brown on New Year's Eve.
I saw that.
Yeah, Mama Said, Hot Brown. That's going to be an awesome
if you guys
thing.
want to come to that, but yeah, hopefully.
You ain't seen a Mama Said show, get to it.
Especially that show, Mama Said and Hot Brown. That is about as good as you can
Hot
get.
Brown's crazy.
Hot
too.
Brown's Hot Brown's ridiculous, but so is Mama Said. So that show right there is like, you talk about a great night. That'll be amazing.
Well, thank you guys so much for having us. It's been a lot.
Before we get out, for musicians that are, considering, hey, I've written a song or two, I'd like to come out. And
I host an open mic every single Thursday at Flanagan's, 8 to 10 p.m. And then every other Tuesday at Gallant Fox from 8 to 10 p.m. And then every single month on the last Wednesday of the month. I do a spotlight series, but that's not an open mic. You got to come to the other open mics.
Oh, yeah,
for me to.
The spotlight series is all.
Absolutely.
It's a closed mic.
It's a pyramid scheme, basically.
But if you work really hard and practice, then I'll ask you to do it.
It's an open-ish
It's
mic.
Flanagan's and then the Monarch and then Top Hill. It's a
Hey,
Yeah,
I figured it was the other way
exactly.
around. But
There you go.
no, we, Jalen, before we go, I would like to say seriously, thank you for what you do for the community. The open mics are a big thing. So if you are listening and are thinking about the next step of I'm sitting in my basement.
I'm still looking for a tap dancer, though. Let's be clear. I've got lots of musicians and lots of poetry, lots of comedy. But we've never had a tap dancer.
Any
so
kind of dance,
if there's a tap dancer out there that wants to come and perform at open mic, I think that'd be really great.
Tiny dancer does not count, Michael. I apologize.
Yeah.
I'll learn to tap dance.
And that marks the second time that's come up. I think it came up with Nick too. He ripped it
no
or
shit. All right,
something.
there we go. All right, Jalen, for anybody that wants to check you out, where you at, buddy?
Jalen Leanne Photography on Instagram. That's about it.
All right. Spencer, where you at, my man?
It's just Spencer.Corbin, Corbin, for any luthier needs. I'm also a tech and a luthier over at Music and Arts off of Linden Lane, 808 Linden Lane. And we work on legitimately anything.
808.
Yeah, we've done anything
Dropping
from
beats.
keyboards to pedals We've taken a look at amps and fixed some amps. We do, but we specialize in brass, woodwinds, and
Can you
classical
fix
instruments.
accordion reeds?
Yes, actually.
Wonderful.
We actually just fixed 2 accordions. So
Thumbs up. Okay.
Sick.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Interesting.
thank you.
Things
Hard to do.
are happening.
absolutely.
That's what's up right there, y'all. So check us out, Top Hill Recording Podcast, Top Hill Recording on Instagram, on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe.
Just a little
I need water in my mouth. Subscribe, all those good things. You guys, we couldn't thank you enough for coming out. It's been an honor. Hopefully we'll do it again soon after like a major big fat record comes out.
Mhm.
And we'll figure it out from there. So
Thank you guys.
appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Y'all
Till
are
next time,
awesome.
y'all.